Hey, how's it going? Back with a request here, a video trying to see if the Meris MercuryX can do the Earthquaker device's Afterneath. And I'm happy to report that it can very well. So in this video I'm going to show you the differences on the setting and how to get there. But first, let's, I just grabbed my guitar, gonna need that. Let's hear the clean tone. I am playing my G&L S500, going through a 29 pedals unit as always, and today I'm using the 1981 Inventions LVL as my overdrive. Very light overdrive, almost not even there. Alright, so let's check out the Afterneath. The request was to do mode 1, which is this little knob all the way to the left, and have all of these knobs at high noon. Pretty easy right there. Mode 1, just so you know, is unquantized. It's smooth and unquantized. So there's no slew, there's no octaves or voltage, there's no scaling, it's unquantized. And here is that sound. This setting, great little decay on it, and I'm sure you can hear it. There's like a pretty distinct delay or echo in it. I think the Afterneath is supposed to invoke a feeling of being in a cave with a wizard, and I think it does that pretty well. So let's do a quick flick of the strings and see what we get with those decays. So that's what we're working with. And when you kind of play it all together like I was doing, this is what you got. So to be fair, the Afterneath is a wonderful pedal, and it would be on a regular part of what I do, except it is mono, and I, as you may or may not know from watching my videos, I don't like mono reverb. I don't love it anyway. It has its place, but that's why I tend to have the Meris MercuryX as kind of my end all reverb, because it's in stereo. So while the comparison is going to be a mono versus stereo, and there will be a drastic stereo width and spread difference between the two, I think we can still get what we're getting out of here. So again, Afterneath, and now to the MercuryX. So that's the sound that I created. Let's dive into it a little bit more. the delays are there, I'll do that little flick. If you want to compare those two back to back. All right, now just a little bit of a strum. All right, I'm setting that guitar down again. Let's go through this Afterneath setting that I created on the MercuryX so you can do it yourself. It was not that difficult, but I'll show you the places where it kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop, and I'll tell you what it is. It was getting the specific frequency tone that the Afterneath was giving me. Kind of has like a metallic zippery kind of vibe to me, and it has a lot of like upper mids and not so many low ends. So that was the trick there, was kind of dialing that in. So all right, let's walk through this. Jump all the way over to the pre-delay, because the pre-delay is actually the element in the MercuryX that gives us those distinct delay taps that you're hearing in the reverb and that you're hearing in the Afterneath. So to do that, I had the standard structure, right division at a dotted eighth, left division at a triplet eighth, and I made that time about 77 BPM. Had to make it pretty low so you could actually hear it. Feedback at about 75. Yeah, so on the time when you do that, you want the BPMs to be fairly low number, which is all the way to towards the right when you're dialing the knob. It can smear pretty quickly when you're going up too high, and you can't actually hear the distinct taps that are being used. So that's kind of where I had it. 77 is somewhat of an arbitrary number. I just did it by ear. There's not really a way to adjust tap in the Afterneath, but that's what that is on the pre-delay. Moving from there, cross feed up about 51%. I kind of messed around with that a little bit and didn't really notice too much of a difference, and so I just kind of left it there in the middle. Half speed off. I turned the modulation off because there's not much modulation at all, or any at all, in the Afterneath, so that was out. Damping stock, dry blend off, sorry. Reverb. So the structure of the reverb I chose was the Cathedral. It had the most cavey type vibe for me without getting too weird. The prism and gravity algorithms at the end, on the far right of the reverb algorithms got close, but they kind of got weird, and I didn't want that. To me, the Afterneath was it was pretty smooth in what it did. It didn't add a lot of oddities. It just had those distinct taps. So I turned the modulation all the way to 0, which means that the mod speed doesn't really matter. The decay and the reverb at about 62%. And one way I was able to kind of help with the high end being a little more distinct versus the low end is turn the low frequency all the way to 0, high frequency all the way to 100. Pitch is off. Diffusion is at 100%. Pitch mix at 68%, but since it's off, it doesn't really matter. Poly blend at 0. All the gate stuff is off because I typically don't use that. Dynamics, I have the freeze on, and really all that does is allow me to use the hold modifier to hold an infinite sustain on what I was doing. That's why you're hearing that drone. It's a little added bonus not available in the Afterneath. So I keep all that stock as what it comes with when you do a preset. Pre plus dry location, freeze on, mix 75% and gain about 2.5. Preamp is off. Filter. This was the magic sauce. This is what really helped me dial in the frequencies that I was hearing in the Afterneath. And to make that happen, I used the state variance type filter, post location, frequency at about 229 hertz. So 229 hertz. That was kind of where I found it. spread at 0%, the topology at a high pass and a resonance of 3.8. No pitch, no modulation, mix at about 54%. Not using any of the modifiers except the hold modifier, which if you're using that, you have to set the hold latch to latching and not momentary. So, that's what we did. That's how we got the Afterneath sound. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll turn that off. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you again for the recommendation. This was another one of those videos that was done completely because of a request from a viewer, and thank you for the request and letting me do this. I really enjoy making these types of videos for you. I feel like we're growing a little community here and working together to try and figure out what things can and can't do. And I'm happy to play my part. So thanks again. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all those fun things. And until we meet again, I wish you the best. Peace.